Today we have this 2021 Volvo XC90. It's a diesel, and we'll get into the details on the car shortly. And we'll give it a first impression review. We'll take it on a short point of view test drive and see what it's actually like. And if it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Sholly. I post these videos every day or every other day. Car reviews with a little bit of humor and sarcasm. Now, it's only befitting that I film this review here in Stamford Hill in North London. And the main reason being is because in the early 90s, the BBC did a documentary on the very large Jewish community here in Stamford Hill, and they called the documentary Volvo City. And the reason they called it Volvo City is because most Jewish people at the time owned a Volvo. My father owned a Volvo, and many boys in my class, their parents owned Volvos, and there are a couple of reasons behind that. You see, back in the early 80s and 90s, and even before then, but when I was a child, the Holocaust was still a fresh memory. Everybody knew somebody that was either in the Holocaust in the Second World War, or had a child, or had a parent or grandparent that was from the Holocaust, fought in the Holocaust. And the Jewish community in general boycotted German products. Now, the Volvo being, it was made in Sweden. It was the only car manufacturer, I think it was the only one, maybe there was a couple of others, that didn't use any German components in their cars. Another reason is because during World War II, Sweden was a neutral country. And it was for these reasons, and a couple of others, you know, another one being that the main Volvo dealership, the main car dealership in Stamford Hill was a Volvo. It's for these reasons that the Jewish people bought Volvos. Today things have moved on a little bit, and the Volvo is no longer the #1 car you will find in Stamford Hill. The #1 car in Stamford Hill is a Toyota Previa/Estima. Now, I'll tell you why in a minute, but in case you don't believe me, I'm gonna have to show you. Now check out this road here in Stamford Hill. Okay, we got a Previa, Estima, Previa doing a 3-point turn. Eventually, we'll get there. Estima, Previa, Estima. You can't make this up. Previa, Estima, 3 in a row. Previa, Volvo XC90, Previa, another Previa, Estima pulled up on the left, Estima on the right. Unless you saw this for yourself, you wouldn't believe what I'm saying. And every street in Stamford Hill is like this. And the main reason behind it is that Stamford Hill today is mainly Jewish people and Muslim people who both have very large families. And the largest seater car that one can drive on a normal license in this country, in the UK, are 8 seats. And I think it's only the Toyota Estima that come in 8 seats. But behind that would definitely be a Volvo. I can go on all day and show you every street in Stamford Hill. Look at that, another Estima driving past us. But this is not why you're here. You're here to see this car. So let me find a place to stop, a safe, quiet place, and we'll do a walk around, and then we'll check out the features of this car. I've just pulled up on a quiet spot, so let's go check out its features. As I said earlier, this is the 2021 model, and it's absolutely stunning. It's got that beautiful 3D looking Volvo grille. It's got a camera in front of, just under the Volvo logo. The headlights turn at night time as you turn. This has the 20-inch alloy wheels. Indicators on the mirrors. And the rear of the car looks just like any other Volvo XC90. I believe you can open the boot by pressing this button. Let's try that again. There we go. Electronically operated. It's a shame that the parcel shelf does not fit under the storage over here. And under this storage, all you get is a wheel and the tools to change the tire. You get a first aid kit. This does have a towing bar. You press this button here and it comes out. You get some hooks for your bags, carrier bags. There's a light, another hook on the right. You got a 12-volt socket. It's very spacious here. This is the 7-seater, so it's got a middle seat in the middle row. To put the seats down, simply pull that up, headrest goes down, and you push it forward. It's a bit of a shame that you haven't got something to pull it back with. Volvo, it wouldn't take much just to put some kind of latch. A little bit of sorry, let's try that again. A little bit of storage for the rear passengers, cup holder, some tethering points and tie down hooks. Electronically operated, as I said earlier. Press the button and it comes down. Now let's check out the back seats. The driver's seat is in my driving position. I am 5'8", and the space back here is alright. The seats go forward and backwards. Very, very comfortable back here. Leather all over, as you would expect. Some nets behind, storage nets behind the seats. You got heated seats for the two back seats, for the two side seats, I apologize. There is a little bit of storage in the doors, and you also get a sun visor. Furthermore, there's a speaker in the door. There are some isofixers. In the middle seat there is an armrest that comes down with a couple of cup holders inside. To get into the back row, you've got to pull this lever, and it is a little bit tight, and somehow you've got to climb through this tiny space and get in the back. It's not really ideal for adults to climb in, but there is space for a couple of adults, but I would strongly advise against it. If you pull this lever, it falls down, and when you have that seat down, you have a nice flat loading bay, and I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, it's nice and flat. There's no lip over here, so it would be very easy to get items all the way through. This seat comes down, as do those two seats in the middle. And to put the seats up, as I showed you earlier, simply push that up. Second row, pull the lever, lift it up, lift up the headrest. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And with that, let's go check out the driver's seat. Now I've got to show you something. This is such a comfortable seat. This Napa leather, electronically operated, adjustable, and with this controls three things, and I'm going to show you what. This being a luxury car, it's a keyless engine start. You simply press that to the right. Now that thing on the right hand side of the seat, if you press that, the outer part, you are greeted on the screen with three options. You got the side bolsters, the lumbar, and the cushion extensions. And when you press those, you can also navigate through the different options on that piece on the side. You press the arrows and you can either bolster the side bolsters or less bolster them. You can increase your lumbar support, and the cushion extension is this part on the seat, where if you go back to the side thing on the side of the seat, you can push that in and out. It's absolutely fantastic. It's very easy to get comfortable in this car. You have reach and rake on the steering wheel. It's not electronically operated on this model. The only thing I would criticize about this is that this is the highest it goes. I do wish it went a little bit higher, but it's a very, very good quality steering wheel. We have a 12.3-inch driver display unit and a 9-inch infotainment system. Now the infotainment system on this car is absolutely brilliant. Let me just show you a few things that you can do with this. So first of all, that's the home button. So you know, on the iPhone at the bottom you used to have a home button. That's what that is. Now on the main screen you have current position, your radio settings, your phone, and you can put whatever you like over there. This is very customizable. Now if you go to the left, you have your media settings, FM, DAB, your Bluetooth, your messages, and then when you scroll down you have a few media options. Now this car also comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is absolutely fantastic. Then this is the center one, and if you continue to the right, you then have different settings for your car. For example, your lane keeping assist, your park assist, your cross traffic alert, your start stop, your camera, headrest fold. You got a whole bunch of options down here. It could be a little bit daunting if you don't know what you're doing or if it's your first time here, but once you know it, it's very easy to use. You know, a few weeks ago I drove with somebody that had the XC60 and I had the same setup, and I actually drove that person's car. We drove 400 miles together and she had no idea about all this. She had no idea, and all I had to do was just show her once, and then she was so thankful and grateful because it's so easy to use, and it's absolutely fantastic. The climate control, there are no shortcut buttons, however it's also fairly simple to use. You have your temperature on the right and the left. It's got a dual zone climate control, this one, and to control the temperature you just slide the spar up and down. Very simple to use. Where you want it, you press this and it changes which vents the air come from. The fan speed, or if you want it on auto, you just press the auto button. You got seat warmers over here, you can control that. You got seat callers, ventilated seats, and we'll switch that off because it's cold outside. And you've also got in this model, which is part of a pack, you have the heated steering wheel. Now in the climate settings, because this is a hybrid, we have another setting that if you scroll to the left, you can actually preheat or pre-cool the car. What a fantastic option. This is something that's available mainly in electric cars, but again, as I said, it's a hybrid, so you have that option on this car too. And then when you want to go back, you simply press that button and you're back on the home screen. On the sides you have the air vents, but below that you do have physical buttons and knobs for the stereo system. And I absolutely love that it does that. It's a shame it hasn't got it for the climate, but in all fairness, as I said before, the climate is not complicated to press. They're nice and big, the controls. And then we have the physical buttons for the stereo down here. Now going further back, we got this beautiful, absolutely beautiful center console. There is lots of storage. You push that forward and there's a little bit of storage in there. The gear knob is some kind of crystal piece of art. It is beautiful. You slide this back. You got a couple of cup holders, some more storage, a 12-volt socket, and on the right of that we have the engine start stop. You got driving mode, so we have, if you push it in, it brings it up. You got eco, comfort, dynamic, and off-road. And for the purpose of this video, we'll put it in eco because it should switch off the engine. It'll keep it all quiet. Your handbrake and your auto start stop when you stop at lights. You got some under armrest storage with a couple of USB and USB-C ports. And talking about storage, you have a glove box that's nice and big, and to open it you simply press this button over here and your glove box opens. You've also got more storage bins in the door, and there's absolutely plenty. And I've just discovered another bit of storage on the right hand side of the steering wheel. If there are other secret storage areas on this car that I haven't mentioned yet, please do let me know. Now the quality is fantastic. You got leather not only on the seats but also up here with this beautiful stitching that goes all the way along. It's absolutely stunning. You got a little bit of wood, and apparently this is real wood, it's not fake wood. Everywhere you touch, everywhere you feel, the armrests are nice soft touch leather. Even down here, lower down in the door, is not cheap. They haven't gone cheap. And on the left hand side it's got felt all up. There's no cheap plastic materials. There's quality and luxury all over. The doors, you have heated, you got the memory seats on the doors, and obviously it's electric windows, your electric folding mirrors. And then you have the steering wheel, absolutely quality, beautiful. On the left hand side you could bring up different options, speed limiter, your radar cruise control, adaptive cruise control, and all that kind of stuff. And then on the right hand side you can control the media. This Volvo XC90 has the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with a 48-volt battery. It's a diesel, and according to Volvo you'll get approximately 32 miles to the gallon, although this is telling me on my computer it's currently doing only 17. It has a 0 to 60 time in approximately 7.7 seconds. And on first impressions driving the car, I can tell you it's very comfortable. It's content on the road. It doesn't feel very big. But I think the main thing that stands out on this car would be the seats. They are so above anything in its sector. I think the only thing that comes close to it would be the seats in the Lexus RX. The seats in the BMW and Audis are just too sporty and not comfortable enough. And these are very, very comfortable seats with the Nappa leather and the support that you get, the bolster, the side bolsters, the front, the leg, thigh support, you know, everything. They're absolutely fantastic. You can hear the diesel, the engine. It is a little bit noisy. We're currently in eco mode. I'm currently driving through the leafy neighbourhood of Hampstead Garden Suburb. It's one of the nicest neighbourhoods in the city, in London, in the country, and in the world for that matter. Not that this has anything to do with cars, but just quickly to point out, you'll notice that every house has a hedge in front of the house, and all the windows are small square windows, one of the requirements you need to live in this exclusive neighbourhood. It's not cheap, it's one of the most expensive neighbourhoods in the country. Anyway, back to the car. I thought it would be a nice place to drive around and see what it feels like. I'm very familiar with these roads. I grew up in this neighbourhood, or not far from it. The steering feels nice and light. If there's one thing I'd criticize about the steering, it would be the turning circle. It doesn't have the best in its sector. It's not great. Other cars do have much better turning circles than this one. But it is very comfortable. It is a little bit noisy, as I said earlier. You can hear the diesel engine. It's quite prominent, dominant, or whatever word you want to use. But it's very smooth, it's very comfortable. The brakes are direct. The steering, just another fault about the steering is it does feel a little bit numb. When you put it in sport mode, it does help the steering a little bit. It sharpens the steering wheel, the steering. You don't feel much of a difference in the accelerator and the gas pedal, although they say it does make a difference, but I don't feel much of it. But overall, this is a fantastic car, a brilliant car to drive. Very, very spacious. I think I missed out earlier the reverse camera, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull over for a second. When I find a spot, I'll pull over right over here and I'll just show you the reverse camera. So put it into reverse, and it's got a 3D surround. It has the reverse lines and they turn as you turn the wheel. You can take them off. If you want just an individual camera, you can press one of them and it'll bring up only one side. And then you click the 360 view and it goes back to it. And with that out the way, let's just continue driving around here a little bit. You do get quite a bit of road noise from the tires on the bumpy, rough surface. For some reason it's a very expensive neighbourhood, yet the roads are absolutely awful. Not entirely sure what the car in front of me is doing. But that could be down to the 20-inch tyres. They are rather big, but they do look absolutely fantastic on this car. Have a look at that Rolls Royce, one of my favourite. Beautiful. What a beauty. And you've also got a Bentley in this driveway. What a collection. Porsche Carrera S. Wow, Range Rover, another Porsche. Mate, the cars in this neighbourhood are absolutely... And this is only what we see on the front. God knows what they have hidden away, stashed away in the underground car parks and the garages. This place is beautiful. Tell me in the comment section below what you think of this neighbourhood. Actually, one of my favourite houses is this one right in front of us. I don't know, I just like it. It looks a bit like, it reminds me of the White House. But anyway, just to sum up the video and what I think of this car, my verdict is, should you buy it? Absolutely. What's the best part of it are the seats. The worst part of it, it is a little bit noisy. You hear noise from the engine. The turning circle is not great, but those are small things compared to what this car does have. The comfort, The space, the ease of drive is absolutely beautiful, this car. I would highly recommend it. And with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you have a great day.